Well. Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Bescheuertes Kurzes Bein. My name's Leah, and we are talking about the third day of the first test between Australia and Bangladesh in Darwin. And we will also talk very briefly about the first test that started today between Bangladesh and India. Between Sri Lanka and India, obviously, because Bangladesh are, as we are hopefully well aware, are playing Australia, and they are doing pretty well, I would say. I couldn't really follow the India match or completely, because they are playing in Galle in Sri Lanka, where Sri Lanka hosts India for a two test series, two match series, and let's have a look. Let's maybe start with that. Because it is played in Galle, which is a bit behind Darwin. Time zone wise, so the hours of play for me are roughly, I think, from about 7 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, and I had to do some other stuff, some non-cricket related stuff today as well. I had to run some errands, had to buy some ingredients for tomorrow, because once a month I am cooking for the local community association, if you will, the Dorfgemeinschaft. I know that sounds horrible in German, Dorfgemeinschaft, very old-fashioned and very, well, in Germany we would say spießig, but it isn't. So I was out and about, visiting the market, getting some fresh ingredients, stuff like that. But India are playing Sri Lanka in a two-test series. The first test is taking place in Galle. The second one will be in Colombo at the SSC. But let's have a look at the first test. So India did not get their first choice 11. Their lineup is Yashasvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul. They are opening together. Then at number 3, it's Devdutt Padikkal, Captain Shubman Gill batting 4. Rishabh Pant at number 5, the keeper, and he is followed by Dhruv Jurel, who is basically doing a Jos Buttler by being played as a specialist bat at number 6, because Dhruv Jurel obviously is the backup keeper in case Rishabh Pant injures himself horribly on the cricket pitch or behind the wheel of a car. And he is followed by Ravindra Jadeja at number 7, then Manav Sutta at 8, Kuldeep Yadav, Mohammad Siraj, and Prasidh Krishna bringing up the rear. So no Bumrah in this match. That's probably the most glaring absence for India. That was probably what Shubman Gill was talking about with not getting his first choice 11. But the Sri Lankan playing 11, and I think that has to be an error on the Crick Info page. Oh no! Lahiru Igalagamage, sorry. Nishan Fernando, Dinesh Chandimal, Kamindu Mendes, Dhananjaya de Silva, the captain, Sonal Dinusha, Niroshan Digwella is back, Jazz Hands Digwella, and Kishara Nuwanta, Pravath Jayasuriya, Lahiru Kumara, and Asita Fernando make up the 11. India won the toss. They decided to bat first, and the first wicket to fall was Yashasvi Jaiswal, who was horribly run out by a combination of Jayasuriya and keeper Niroshan Digwella. He was out for 32. KL Rahul retired hurt on the 77, but The good news for India is that Devdutt Padikkal made his first Test century. He is currently not out, 131. Shubman Gill, the captain, he was called Igalaga Mage. Bowled Jayasuriya for 16, so not the best day at the office for the Indian captain. And Rishabh Pant is not out, keeping company with Devdutt Padikkal. He is on 27. And there have been 5 extras, 2 leg byes, 3 no balls. So after 73 overs that have been played in the day, because there was a delay due to a wet outfield, I think around the... What was it? I think around the lunch break. India are 288 for 2. So despite that really, really bad run out of Jaiswal and a low score by captain Shubman Gill, that is a respectable score. And as the old saying goes, if you are evaluating a score, add 2 wickets to the score and say what it looks like then. And, well, almost 300 for 4 wickets would also be quite good, I would say, in my estimation. I was struggling earlier with the name of the Sri Lankan number 1, because I think there is also a Lahiru Gamage. And I was looking at the ESPN Cricket Info scorecard and was thinking, what? Wait, that can't be right. But apparently it is right. And let's have a look at the bowling figures. Asita Fernando bowled 10 overs, 1 maiden, 28 runs and no wickets. Lahiru Kumara, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 51 runs, no wicket. Kishara Nuwanta, 21 overs, no maidens, 98 runs and no wickets. Prabhat Jayasuriya, 24 overs, 4 maidens, 77 runs and 1 wicket. Dhananjaya de Silva, 4 overs, no maidens, 15 runs and no wicket. And Sonal Dunisha, 4 overs, no maidens, 17 runs and no wickets. Obviously KL Rahul is just retired hurt. So he's not out. He's not retired out. He's retired hurt. And the run out of Yashasvi Jaiswal obviously doesn't turn up in the bowling scorecard. But, well, looking so far, looking like, India doing India things, and they have, after some horrible performances during their last home season, they seem to have come back a bit, and they really, really need that, because looking at the points table, they are currently behind Bangladesh, and whatever happens in either in Gaul or in Darwin, they are not going to overtake Bangladesh after this round of matches in the World Test Championship, because Bangladesh are currently sitting at 58.33 percentage points, which is obviously since COVID the number the percentage of points that you could possibly make, or that are on offer, and the percentage of points you actually make, that is what orders the table. Australia are sitting pretty at the top at 87.5%. In number 2 is South Africa with 75%. New Zealand is in third, 72.22. Bangladesh is in fourth at 58.33. India is over 10 percentage points behind, 48.15. Sri Lanka 41.67. Then there is a big jump to the 6th place English side, who are sitting at 24.36. Then Pakistan in 8th at 22.22. 22.22 for the Richie lovers out there. And West Indies bring up the rear, 20.83. So, I was saying India won't overtake Bangladesh in this round of World Test Championship matches, and that is because whatever happens in Darwin, India will probably move on to a little over 50%. And if Bangladesh fuck it up from here, they will drop to lower middle 50s in percentage points, I think. It is the 5th game they have won 2. That's the two against Pakistan when they won that home series against Pakistan. First time that Pakistan lost a series in Bangladesh. And they also had one draw, and that was versus Sri Lanka. Second test, they lost to Sri Lanka by an innings and 78 runs, but the first one they drew. So yeah, basically they will move on to around 61 percentage points if they win today if they win this match in Darwin. They didn't win today, but they might actually win tomorrow. But we'll get to that. Sri Lanka will drop down. They will not drop below England, obviously. They will drop to, I think, because they have in 5 matches, they would have 1 win, 2 losses, but they also have 2 draws in there. So those, it's not a basic function of how many matches have I played, how many of those did I win, because in a draw there are points for both teams. In a loss only, or for a loss you don't get any points, for a win you get full points, and for a draw you get reduced points. It is not 50% of the points you would get for a win, though. So, yeah, but I think that is basically what might happen. But we are here to, first of all, this is I call this the hopefully the Tigger appreciation stream. And yeah, I guess we can appreciate the Tiggers because they did good again today. They were 100. They were. Let me have a look. 351 for 6 in 110 overs at the end of the second day. They batted the whole of the second day after the Australians could only muster a little over two sessions on the first day after having won the toss, elected to bat first on a really green pitch. They made 198 all out, and the Bangladeshi answer to 198 all out was 426 all out. So 228, the first innings lead that Sri Lanka played out in Darwin. And yeah, I mean, what happened today? Because at the end of the second day, there were Mehdi Hassan Miraz and Hassan Mahmoud were out there. Hassan Mahmoud could only add a single run to his overnight score of 13 before he was bowled LBW to Hazelwood. But they did squeeze out a few runs out of the tail in the end, and a lead of 228 is nothing to scoff at. In the end, Josh Hazelwood took 6 wickets in the innings, but the Australians were really, really frustrated. The tempers were running hot a bit at the end of the second day. Mitchell Starc got into it a bit with Mehdi Hassan Miraz at the end of the second day, when Sri Lanka were in front around, I think, 150 runs, something like that. That was the lead, I think, at the end of the second day. In the end, Hazelwood took 6 wickets he had 3. He had 3. I think he had 3. No, he had 2 at the end of the second day. He took, I think, the final 4 wickets to fall. So yeah, it's an interesting fifer, isn't it? He took the number 3, the 3, 4, 5, the 6, and then he mopped up the tail. Didn't get the number 10 though. Taskin Ahmed remained the not out batsman on 14 not out. But yeah, the the Bangladeshi tailenders, they really swung the bat around a bit. They knew these are bonus runs. Anything we can make here, it's all gravy. And they successfully did. There are only 2 batsmen in this Bangladeshi innings who didn't reach double figures, and that are, first of all, keeper Lithan Das, who made a 12-ball duck, and number 11, Abadot Hussain, he was out for 7. Everyone else got into double figures. So that is really good. And the reply from the Australians was that opener Jake Weatherald made a 3-ball duck. He was bowled by Hassan Mahmood, who continued to torture the Australians because he dismissed both of the Australian openers. Travis Head also fell. He was the second wicket to fall. And Manus Labuschagne actually made some runs in this innings. He is the third wicket to fall in this Australian innings, and it's not as... I mean, it's good that he made runs from a well, not necessarily from an Australian perspective, but from a Manus Labuschagne perspective, it's certainly important for him to make runs because I think his seat in his place in the team is not guaranteed anymore. He has been in quite horrible form as of late. He made 31, and he was the first wicket of the innings to fall to spin, and they would continue with some more spin. He was bowled Taijul Islam. That was a really poor shot from Manus Labuschagne. He was clean bowled through the gate. No inside edges, nothing. Travis Head and Jake Weatherald, I think both of them chopped on, I think. But yeah, Manus Labuschagne was clean bowled by Taijul Islam, and Steve Smith got caught and bowled by Mehdi Hassan Miraz. And he made 44, and currently Cameron Green and Alex Carey are the not-out batsmen for Australia. 43 not out for Cameron Green, and Alex Carey is on 19. They are 161 for 4. They are still 67 runs behind. They have lost 4 wickets already. Next in would be Bo Webster, then it's Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, Nathan Lyon, and Josh Hazlewood. So the Australian tail is comparable in length to the Bangladeshi tail, I would think. And I would say Bangladesh can be very, very happy with their performance on this third day so far. They have been keeping their chances alive, and if they win, this would be historic. This is the 7th match both sides play against each other, and it would be the second time that Bangladesh actually win a match against Australia, and it would also be the first win for Bangladesh on Australian soil. If you're listening to this, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you got any questions, leave them in the chat while I will make a short drinks break, or take a short drinks break. Because I know that I am going to talk quite a lot, and it is really, really hot again today. It's not as hot or not as bad as it was yesterday, but it's been a lot more. Well, it's been a lot more humid, and that's really bad. But don't go anywhere. I'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes, I guess. So don't go anywhere. All right, we are back. Give me a second. There we go. And off with the drinks banner. So yeah, very good day for Bangladesh today. Even though I was noticing in the not only in the stands today, the Bangladesh fans cannot yet believe that they might actually do it. There's a pervasive, oh yeah, but we have lost matches from positions like this. And yeah, I don't think they will lose this. I think Jeff Lemon and Bharat Sundaresan were talking about it on the final word, and Bharat said, "Yeah, that is the Bangladesh fan experience. We are in a very dominant position. We have been dominating for 3 days, and we might actually still, or we will still lose this test. And I don't really think so. I don't really think. But let's talk about a bit more of that. After going through the scorecard, we can now go through the completed first innings of Bangladesh, and we also can go through the Australian second innings as far as it has been completed thus far. So, Bangladesh in their first innings. Shatman Islam caught line, bowled Stark 20. Tanzit Hassan caught Stark, bowled line 101. Mominul Haq caught Carey, bowled Hazelwood 49. Najmul Hossain Shantu, the captain, caught Smith, bowled Hazelwood 84. Mushfiqur Rahim caught Smith, bowled Cummins 36. Lytton Das caught Smith, bowled Stark 0. Mehdi Hassan Miraz caught Carey, bowled Hazelwood 65. Hassan Mahmood LBW bowled Hazelwood 14. Taijul Islam caught Green, bowled Hazelwood 17. Taskin Ahmed not out 14. And Ebadat Hossain caught Carey, bowled Hazelwood for 7. 19 extras have been conceded by the Australian attack. That were 6 byes, 6 leg byes, 6 no balls, and a wide. That is in total 426 all out in 138 overs at a run rate of 3.08. The bowling card for Australia: Mitchell Starc, 26 overs, 3 maidens, 79 runs, 2 wickets. Josh Hazelwood, 28 overs, 3 maidens, 89 runs, and 6 wickets. Cameron Green, 10 overs, 2 maidens, 34 runs, and no wickets. Captain Pat, or Pacement Pat, as his Gorilla Cricket jingle calls him, based on the theme song for, I think, what's it called? Postman Pat. So yeah, Pat Cummins, 27 overs, 4 maidens, 75 runs, and a wicket. Nathan Lyon, 31 overs, 4 maidens, 102 runs, and a wicket. Bo Webster, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 28 runs, and no wicket. Travis Head, 2 overs, no maidens, 3 runs, and no wicket. Marnus Labuschagne, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 4 runs, and no wicket. Funnily enough, Marnus Labuschagne has the best economy rate in the Australian bowling card with a 1. The second innings for Australia: Travis Head bowled Hassan Mahmood 17. Jake Weatherald bowled Hassan Mahmood duck, and Marnus Labuschagne bowled Taijul Islam 31. Steve Smith caught and bowled Mehdi Hassan Miraz 44, and Cameron Green is not out 43, and Alex Carey is not out 19. 7 extras thus far, 4 leg byes and 3 no balls by the Bangladesh bowling attack, makes 161 for 4 in 53 overs at a run rate of 3.03. And the bowling card: Taskin Ahmed, 12 overs, 3 maidens, 38 runs, no wickets. Hassan Mahmood, 11 overs, 2 maidens, 33 runs, and 2 wickets. Ebadat Hossain, 8 overs, no maidens, 38 runs, and no wicket. Taijul Islam, 9 overs, no maidens, 28 runs, and a wicket. Mehdi Hassan Miraz, 13 overs, 4 maidens, 20 runs, and 1 wicket. Yeah, so looking at the play today, first of all, what was really interesting, the Australians got a bit sloppy in the field during the final stages of Bangladesh's first innings. There were 2 really egregious or well, not egregious drops, but very frustrating drops. Smith dropped the skier. Both, I think, were of mistimed cross-batted shots. I think it was Stark and it was Smith, and both of them, I think, was no. The other one was Head. It was Smith and Head. Head was an over-the-shoulder catch running towards the boundary, and he got one hand to it, couldn't hold on to it, and he dropped it. And the other one was Smith, and he was positioning himself beneath a skier, and it just dropped through his hands. He had the hands in the right position, and it just dropped through. And I think Alyssa Healy, either on commentary or after the match, was talking about that it is really, really interesting that those skiers, those catches that we generally think of as they are easy, they are sitters, because you have a lot of time to position yourself underneath them. But apparently, the chances of a successful catch drop rapidly, or they fall off a cliff at the 4-second hang time mark. So if a ball is going up into the air and it takes 4 seconds or more until he reaches the ground again, apparently those are not as easy as people think, because of the long hang time. It gets really, really hard to judge how high up in the air the ball is, according to Alyssa Healy. I didn't really, I have to admit, I didn't really research that, or I couldn't find any sources on that. But well, I mean, she has played a bit more international cricket than me, so yeah, and she has a contract to talk about cricket for a living, so as well, in addition to playing cricket internationally. So yeah, I defer to her on that, because she seems to be one of the more knowledgeable and actually palatable Australian commentators, even though she hosts a podcast together with what's his name again? Rockin' Rod Stewart, Shane Warne used to call him. Former Australian wicketkeeper. Oh, come on. Anyone in the chat have any idea? Played in the 2009 Ashes, I think. Brad Haddin. It's Brad Haddin, obviously. And the funny thing is, I think it's in the 2009 Ashes. Apparently, Shane Warne used to call him at least once on commentary. Used to call him Rockin' Rod Stewart, because apparently Shane Warne thought that Brad Haddin looks like Rod Stewart. And Rod Stewart plays rock and roll, so it's rockin' Rod Stewart, which is a joke that originally Alex Bowden, friend of the channel, made on the Ridiculous Ashes podcast. And he points out the only thing where that metaphor or that simile falls down is the fact that Brad Haddin does look absolutely nothing like Rod Stewart. He's a bit of a dick, though. So, yeah. A prick. Yeah, so apparently that is something, or that was something that was new to me, that 4 seconds of hang time is basically the magic number. After that, it gets really, really hard to take those catches. And yeah, Smith couldn't believe that he dropped what he perceived to be an easy one. Yeah, speaking of or looking at the pitch again, it died a bit a bit more than it dies a bit more from day to day, obviously. Got a bit flatter, and now I think it's starting to take a bit more spin. We have had 3 wickets fall to spin in this match so far. First one was taken by Nathan Lyon. He took one that was the Centurion, Tanzit Hassan. He was caught stark bowled line. That was the first wicket in the test that fell to spin. And yeah, the most recent 2 Australian wickets that fell, those 2 fell to spin. The both openers fell to pace. And I feel a bit vindicated in my assessment yesterday when I said that I trust a subcontinental pace attack on this kind of pitch more than I trust the Australians. And yeah, I mean, Hassan Mahmood has been pretty good for Sri Lanka thus far. He's taken 8 in the match so far. He can have a crack at it tomorrow again to make it 10 in the match. Took 6 for in the first innings, and now he has a crack at. Well, first of all, he has a crack at a second 5-er in the match. He also has a crack at if he can't take a 5-er, he still has a crack at 4-er, and thus making it 10 in the match. Always looks good on the ESPN Crick Info or on the stats page for the player. Let's have a look at has he taken a 10-fer in his career so far? No, he hasn't. His best bowling in match figures, he has improved them, because his best bowling in a match thus far in a test is 6 for 157. His best bowling in an innings is 5 for 43. So he has improved that. He has taken 8 thus far, and I don't know how many he conceded. 55 in the first, and in the second thus far he has conceded 55. So 33 in the second innings, so 88 in the match overall. So his match figures are, at the moment, 8 for 88, which is not bad. The Australians are still 67 runs behind, and what will probably hurt them the most is the fact that Steve Smith couldn't rescue them as he did in the first innings. If we remember back to the first day, Steve Smith was the only Australian batsman who made any runs. A lot of them got starts, but none of them could go on. I think he was the only one to break 30. Yes, indeed. The second best score in the Australian scorecard in the first innings was Jake Weatherald, and he made 23. Only 3 batsmen made more than 20, and that were Travis Head with 22, Jake Weatherald with 23, and then the standout in Steve Smith with 71. I think the priority for the Bangladeshis in this second innings, now that Cameron Green is out there, they need to break the partnership between Cameron Green and Alex Carey early, because that would bring on Bo Webster. He is in number 7, and his batting average is around 41 in Test, but he's only played 8 matches, and generally the Australian batting lineup doesn't seem to be in that purple of a patch. So if they can break the the partnership early tomorrow, I think if they take another wicket, an early wicket, and it is, after all, after a break in play, this time stumps. If they can break this partnership early tomorrow, they are 1 wicket away from exposing Australia's tail, I would actually say. Because after Bo Webster, it's Pat Cummins, and Pat Cummins has a batting average of 16.67. And it is obviously downhill from there. It's Mitchell Starc, who is a kind of a slogger. He can make some runs. Don't get me wrong, but he can also make a duck. Nathan Lyon doesn't know how to bat, and Josh Hazlewood is absolutely hopeless. Let's have a look at Josh Hazlewood. He's not in the he's an average of 11.5 basically. But yeah, that's not good, and especially for a perennial number 11. Because you just know half the time, probably, not necessarily half the time, but a good percentage of that average comes from not outs. And looking at Josh Hazlewood's ESPN Crick info, no. Almost exactly half of his innings are not out. So red inkers. And basically he played 96 innings with the bat. He was not out in 47 of those. So yeah, it's a little below, or if he had just made one more not out, it would be actually exactly half. Yeah, so around 50% of the time, Josh Hazlewood is not out. He has made, because if you're looking at it this way, how many runs per innings can you expect from Josh Hazlewood? And this is basically the reason that the batting average is not necessarily a good indicator of the batting ability of a number 10 or number 11, because a lot of the time they will be a not out on for a number 10 or number 11. And Josh Hazlewood has played almost 100 innings with the bat, and he has made 565 runs in his Test career. So his average may be 11.53, but you would expect around 5.5 runs from Josh Hazlewood per innings, because the average is number of runs divided by the times you were out. So it's the number of dismissals. It's the number of runs per dismissal to be expected, and for a tail ender, half the time they are not out in innings in between dismissals. So yeah, I guess. I mean, look, 5.5. That's almost exactly half of his average. His highest score is 39. Just for reference. So yeah, if they can break that partnership tomorrow, early tomorrow morning, they will be. That would be a good start. And let's not forget, I think the signs are there that the pitch is starting to take some spin. The Bangladeshis have been giving their bowlers more overs than they did in the first innings. because I'm looking at how long the innings has been going on for, and it's 53 in the second innings, and that is exactly how long Australia's first innings lasted. The first innings of Australia lasted 53 overs, and we are now 53 overs into their second innings. In the first innings, the Bangladeshi bowlers bowled. Mehdi Hassan Miraz bowled 4 overs, and Taijul Islam bowled 5. So a combined 9. One bowled 4, one bowled 5. And looking at the second innings of Australia, that has also lasted 53 overs now. And Taijul Islam has bowled 9 overs, and Mehdi Hassan Miraz has bowled 13. Yeah, so Mehdi Hassan Miraz has more than tripled the amount of overs he bowled, and Taijul Islam has almost doubled it. So yeah, I think Bangladesh have been reading the pitch and have decided it is starting to take some spin. And yeah, not necessarily disrespect to Nathan Lyon. He's a very good and very well, he's the most prolific off spinner that Australia have ever had, I think. He's a very good off spinner on classical Australian pitches, but I don't think, because as we were talking about yesterday, I don't think this is a classical Australian pitch at the end of the day. Because it is in the Northern Territories, it is in the tropics, and not in the subtropics, or I would have to look that up. If some of the Australian grounds are actually in the temperate zone, but yeah, if there is now, if this pitch is now taking some spin, I think that is really, really dangerous for the Australians, because it is not the kind of spin that they are used to on their bigger grounds that are further south. That's not the kind of spin that they are used to. And they tend to collapse against the kind of spin that this pitch might actually take, and that Bangladesh will be very, very familiar with. That cracked dust bowl kind of spin. If that is indeed the spin this kind of pitch develops or produces on days 3, 4, on days 4 and 5, yeah, that is really, really dangerous for the Australians, because they do not know how to play that. And that is not necessarily a big knock against the Australians, because there has been, I don't know how many think pieces have been written over the last, well, maybe year and a half, 2 years ago. And the central thesis of all those think pieces is nobody knows how to play spin anymore. And yeah, it's true. Even the batting averages against spin by Indian test players have been dropping for quite a few years, I think now. So yeah, nobody knows how to play spin, and to add insult to injury for the Australians, this is the kind of spin they have never been good at playing. They may be able to play finger spin on Australian pitches, because those are very, very different from all the other pitches in world cricket or in world test cricket. So most visiting finger spinners, and also most leg spinners, but Australia doesn't really have any leg spinners at the moment. No, We're not talking Steve Smith, and we're not talking Martin Labuschagne. Labuschagne has been bowling pace in this test most of the time. Remember that. And it has been absolute filth. Let me add that one. So most visiting spinners, be they finger or wrist spinners, don't know how to bowl or have a really hard time bowling on Australian pitches, because those are not comparable to the conditions they probably know from home. And this pitch in Darwin might actually play into the hands of subcontinental spinners with the kind of spin that it produces. And if that happens, Australia are fucked, because they are still 67 runs behind, and they have lost the one batsman that made any runs for them in the first innings. Let's have another short break. And again, if you are listening to this and if you like it, I am, as a YouTuber, I am basically legally required to ask you to, first of all, leave a like below this live stream. Then basically go ahead and have a look at my channel after this live stream ended. Have a look at my channel. There is a playlist. It is called English language content, and that is nomen est omen, as we say in Latin. That is basically all the English language content that I have on this channel. There's a good mix. It's a mixed bag, a grab bag of everything, and not. And I don't mean that necessarily quality-wise, but there is a lot of different stuff in there. There are interviews with friends of mine, because, most of them speak English. And even though I'm doing a lot of or German content on this channel as well, all my friends, or none of my friends basically speak German, or the friends of all my cricket friends. None of them speak German, so it's all in English. And there are some lighthearted, video essays or specials or stuff like that. There is a Christmas special and a New Year special. They are about the 2010-11 Ashes, because it was the Ashes around Christmas and New Year's. And so I revisited the last time that England were competent in an Ashes series down under, because everyone in England was pretty depressed about the performance of the England team in the latest Ashes series. So I did some specials about the 2010-11 Ashes. There is also there is an English language video where I take you through how I commentate cricket in German, and I take you through. I explain everything. I'll take you through a very, very famous over, and I recorded that beforehand, and I recorded German commentary for that, and then I take you through it, play that, and interrupt it, and commentate or explain in English what I'm talking about there. So, if that sounds interesting to you, have a look around after this live stream. And if you don't want to miss anything here, then you should probably also leave a subscription for this channel here. It doesn't cost you anything. So, with that said, I will take another short break, and we will then have a look at what the rest of the cricket world is saying about this match, basically, and what people are expecting of this match. So, don't go anywhere. See you in a bit. All right, and we are back for what I think will be a bit of the home stretch. After all, been about an hour now. Anyway, yeah. First of all, if you are currently watching live, please come say hello in the chat, and yeah, have a look at my at the channel description as well. I forgot that earlier. Please have a look at the channel description. There is a link to my Discord community that is also very, very bilingual. So there are English language channels. There are also some German language channels. But yeah, generally, please go ahead. And if you have any questions, anything like that, please go ahead and put them in the chat. It's always fun to talk to you. And I think the final part of this video will again be a bit of a in Germany we call it Presseschau, which means having a bit of a look. What are people talking about in the press or on websites, on the usual websites, basically. Let's have a look at Cricinfo. What are they writing? What's the title? Well, they are saying Mehidi's grit exposes Australia's casualness. Bangladesh chip away to keep famous win in sight. Hazelwood, apparently, Josh Hazelwood said the win is still definitely in our mind. He says 4 wickets down in the second innings, still 67 runs behind. With the pitch taking spin against the team that is playing double the specialist spinners that your team is playing. And yeah, I forgot that earlier. Josh Hazelwood becomes the 9th Australian to take 300 test wickets, because he did take his 300th test wicket today. I think it was the first one of the day, the Hassan Mahmood one. I think that is his 300th. Please give me a second to confirm that. Hazelwood. Oh no, it was Mehdi Hassan Miraz. Etched, taken, that's 300 for Hazelwood. So, hey, come on. At least it was one of those Bangladeshi batsmen that was not out overnight. It was Hassan Mahmood or Mehdi Hassan Miraz. And it was indeed Mehdi Hassan Miraz. That is the 300th test wicket for Josh Hazelwood. Yeah, so this is basically what ESPN Cricinfo is, or the headlines of the ESPN Cricinfo articles about this test match. The other ones I remember is I think the Great Cricketer was talking about or the title of the video after yesterday their title was "Feed Them to the Crocs," and today it was. I think it was quite funny because yesterday there was a bit of hyperbole in that one, and now they are basically the realization or the acceptance has set in because the title or the title of the review video or the summary video that they published today was not as hyperbolic as it was yesterday. Today they merely said the wheels are coming off the team at Darwin or something like that. The metaphor they used was the wheels are coming off. That much is for certain. don't really know if there's the wheels are coming off the team or the wheels are coming off Australia. I'm not, but the basic sentiment remains. And then there was, Dan Liebke was slagging the Australians, or was bullying the Australians in his newsletter as well. And you should absolutely subscribe to Dan Liebke's Substack. Just Google Dan Liebke Substack, or just go to Lieb Cricket, LIEB cricket.com. Go ahead, and if he asks who sent you, tell him it was me. He knows me. So yeah, that's good. And the final one I want to talk about is probably the final word. I think Adam Collins is not on the coverage of this series. I guess he's probably covering it for SEN, SEN, the radio station from Sydney. And so it is Adam Collins, it is Jeff Lemon and Bharat Sundaresan. He is the other one, or the correspondent. I think Bharat Sundaresan is actually at the ground, and Jeff is in Sydney, I would guess. Or maybe he's in Melbourne. But yeah, Bharat said that it is totally ingrained. That is what stuck out to me. The pessimism that is ingrained in the Bangladeshi fans' mind. Looking at this match, and so far Bangladesh has dominated the 3 days that have been played so far. They are still ahead. Australia are in their second innings, and they will have to do very, very well in the rest, or on the fourth day, to set Bangladesh a challenging target for a fourth innings chase, especially since in the first innings, if you want to compare first innings, the first 2 innings to each other, it was not only that Bangladesh bowled better than Australia did, they also batted a lot better than Australia did as a unit. And I think what stuck out to me is that Hassan Mahmood, who is one of their specialist bowlers, he faced more deliveries. He was one of the ones that was not out overnight. He was on 13 at the time, and for those 13 runs, he had faced more deliveries than any Australian batsman in the first innings, except for Steve Smith. So, and he was one of the lower scores in the first innings for Bangladesh. So yeah, they did not necessarily play flashy innings and make quite a lot of runs, made flashy 50s at strike rates over 100, or play baseball if I want to, or if you would like, that cursed word that hopefully will never be mentioned again. They played sensible test cricket, and I think Bharat was talking about that this is the best team performance by a visiting team he has seen since India came to Australia, and not the first time they won the Border Gavaskar Trophy down under, or the second time, but the one before that. That should have been, I think, 17-18. No, 17-18 was the Ashes. 18-19 or 16-17, somewhere like that. So, but I can't really remember. But he was making a point of it being the Border Gavaskar Trophy down under before India won it down under for the first time. So, and yeah, if you're looking at the scorecard of this test, looking at the partnerships in this test, it stands out that that Bangladesh have been really consistent. They've been really where you would think. Or they were batting in the first innings the way you would think a test side should actually bat. People are always complaining about modern batsmanship and stuff like that. And I kind of get it. But that batting from Bangladesh in the first innings, that was really, really old school. They played a very, very steady and orthodox test innings. I was thinking about that. How do you think about that in statistical terms? And let's have a look at that. At some stats here. How can you quantify, or how can you look at that? I think this is a hard test to do it. Because the Australian first innings was really, really bad, basically all around. But well, maybe I can just tell you what I was thinking. I think how can you judge an overall batting performance and not get carried away with looking at, oh, they made a very good total in the end after all. But looking at partnerships, and I think and I will have to look that up. Oh, I will have to test this hypothesis, because it is a hypothesis that I have, and that is, the smaller the difference between the median partnership and the average partnership in an innings, the better the innings as a whole, or for not necessarily as a whole, but in regards to maybe consistency or really, really good old school test match batting. It's just a thought. I'm not really sure if that theory holds up. I will have to look at quite a few tests in between this test, or maybe before the start of the Pakistan series in England this year. That is coming on in 4 days time. So 16th starts on Wednesday. So before that, I might actually get a chance to look into that. Anyway, let me know what you think about that theory, because if I'm just looking at the first innings of Australia, there is obviously there is 10 wickets, and we have in descending order we have 55, 54, 55, 45, 23, 20. So that's 4. The next one is 13. That would be the median. And then it is, because there are two 13s, so the median is 13, and either way, then it is 9, 9, 7, and 4. And the average is 45, 52, 61, 74, 129, 152, 172, 176, 189, 100. Yeah, 189, 198. That by 10 is 19.8, obviously, and that is around 6.5 runs away from the average. So maybe it's not. Maybe it is just a measurement of the overall consistency of a betting side, and but in conjunction with a good total, a good team total, that tells you that it's not just a single performer or batsman that rescued his team. It's kind of like the anti-Bannerman measure, I would say. Yeah, but will I do this again tomorrow? I cannot yet tell you if I can do this tomorrow. I will have to make some, or I have to see some. I'm waiting for some emails, because if I'm going to cook tomorrow, that takes a bit of precedence. But apparently someone has been not doing their organizing job, and if I'm not cooking up at the cemetery tomorrow, because we have the run of a cemetery of a former cemetery, and if that is not happening, I might actually be persuaded to do this again tomorrow, maybe, or hopefully, to celebrate a Bangladesh victory. But to find out, or to get notified if I'm doing this again tomorrow, you should actually subscribe to this channel. You should activate the notifications so you don't miss anything, or any of that coverage of maybe the historic, or hopefully the historic, first Bangladeshi test win on in the land down under. So again, thank you very, very much. And yeah, I would be very, very happy if you would click the like button, if you would subscribe, if you would check out the description of this channel, check out the playlists, check out the rest of my channel. And well, maybe I will see you tomorrow, fate permitting, or planning permitting, and if you are interested in that. So, thank you very, very much. And if you want, see you in a bit. Bye.